So when I'm around others, I have to pretend I'm okay. Now, is that something that you relate to? Because if it is, this video is going to be very helpful. And the other thing I want to say is that you're not alone. And there are plenty of us who feel the same. So in this video, I want to share why we feel the need to do this and what sort of things can we do to overcome it or stop it. So I don't know about you, but this is how I feel when I'm put on the spot or I feel that I've got to show people I'm holding things together or that I'm okay. And of course, by the very sentence itself or the very title of that, what we're saying is underneath, I'm not coping. I don't feel at ease, or I'm out of my depth, or I'm out of my comfort zone. So the sort of feelings you might experience along with those could be worry that you're going to screw up, or you're feeling under pressured because others are wanting you to look as if you're coping. And that's uncomfortable, isn't it? Certainly I found that because you're thinking in your head, I'm not liking this, or, ooh, what if I say something or do something that's going to show I'm weak? Then, of course, you've blown your cover. And isn't it strange that we have to feel that? We don't want others to see how we feel. We don't want others to realize we're struggling. And you do this for a long period of time, and it's draining, isn't it? Because the moment you find yourself around others, you're starting to have these thoughts, these same feelings are coming up. And sometimes I found it really scary because I didn't want people to see what was happening. Like I've said in other videos, partly the problem is not so much that we're having to pretend, but what is behind that? Why do we feel we have to pretend? What is the conflict that's happening in our mind? And I sometimes call this like an emotional block or a barrier. Something's happening within us that is making us feel I have to pretend I'm okay. So, why? Well, I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but so many of our behaviors and our reactions and so on and so forth happen because we feel the need to protect ourselves. And equally, we feel the need to protect others. Because if we don't protect ourselves in this manner, in other words, that people can see the truth, they might think us weak. They will think that we're unable to cope. Certain people will take advantage. That's a given, isn't it? That's certainly happened to me. When you're seen as someone who is not going to fight back, then of course you're vulnerable. And others may not give you respect because they feel, well, you're weak, you're useless, you're stupid, you can't handle this, so why would I want to respect you? But the other side of the coin, of course, is that there are people dependent on us, dependent on you, and they want to feel safe because of you, because of the way that they see you as someone who is going to take care of them, particularly when you're a parent and so on, because you feel you're responsible for others, and of course, others see you as someone that gives them strength, gives them reassurance, and so on. And if you are not that person, in their eyes, and they suffer, what's going to happen? They're going to blame you, aren't they? They're going to say, well, I wanted you to be like this and you should have been strong. So all of this is going through our minds when we're feeling I have to pretend that I'm okay. And in essence, what we're saying is others expect us to be this way. Others expect us to be strong, to keep it together, and so on. And of course, as I was saying earlier on, that's where we have this sensation or feeling of pressure, because others are wanting us to do it. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're under pressure, certainly for me, I feel more uneasy. I feel more anxious because I'm having to do something, as I was saying earlier, that is outside my comfort zone or is outside of what I feel like I am capable. So any pressure like that is going to do what? It's probably going to make it worse. It's probably going to make it more uncomfortable for you. Because the last thing we humans want in the way that we've been conditioned is to feel we're struggling, and secondly, that others see us struggling. So is there a choice? Is there a way out of this? Well, realizing, I think, as I did, that this is a trap. The trap, of course, is you're trying to be something because you think you've got to be like it and others expect you to. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sit with me. And I had to learn over a long period of time that what others thought didn't matter as much as I thought. And of course, you might say, well, if you're a parent, then there isn't a choice. You have to be strong and so on. And maybe that's the way that you're going to carry on, is putting up this pretense or trying to be strong. And of course, there's great value if you feel that, come on, I can do this, and you have that positive motivation and belief in yourself. And in that way, you're moving out of that pretending into more of being and being able to. And that's really positive. But when you can't do that, I think it's a great benefit is firstly to realize what is actually happening. In other words, the nature of what you're doing is driven because you feel you have to, you don't want to let others down, you don't want to let yourself down. Those are the expectations, those thoughts put pressure on you. And it's those, I think, that the solution, where the solution lies. In other words, does it really matter what others think? Are they really going to disrespect you? Are they really going to think you're weak? And I think the answer to that is only if you think you're weak. Only if you think you cannot respect yourself. So it shows up, this type of thing, it shows up what we think about ourselves, as is so many of the situations we find ourselves that are uncomfortable, because it's showing up how we see ourselves. And being authentic and genuine, if you're feeling out of sorts, if you're feeling out of your depth, is that okay? Why not? What is growth? Growth is going from feeling on top of things or in control to not being on top of things or in control. It's adapting to that. It's moving towards that. So why not? And the more honesty I think you can be with yourself and the genuineness you can be with yourself, the easier it comes, because you're taking away this expectation that you have to be something. Well, you have to be strong, and that you cannot be yourself. But what if you can't trust that person? Well, this is part of it, isn't it? If that person who you're pretending to is someone you cannot trust, you might be saying, well, yeah, I want to be like this, to be strong, to be together, as I'm building up trust. And I would say to you, well, if that's the case, then go with it. If that's how you feel it's going to help you, if that's how you feel that trust might evolve. But actually, I think the contrary is true. As you may have found out, the more genuine and open, let's say vulnerable you are with someone, the more they trust you and you can trust them. So just have that in mind, this idea that I have to pretend to be strong or that I'm okay. And if that's the case, underneath that, behind that, is the expectation. I cannot show weakness. If I show weakness, people won't like me. If I show weakness, people will think less of me, take advantage of me, and so on and so forth. And if those people do that, then are they the people you want to be around? If they do that, does it really matter? Does it affect you? Only if you let it. So something to think about is being open to the idea that can I allow myself to be genuine? Can I build stronger trust with others, and vice versa, to say, here, I'm showing up as me now. This is who I am. And actually, you'll find when you do that, you'll gain more respect, which is contrary to what we've been conditioned to do. That you've got to be a certain type of person, a certain person that can be strong, etc. So have a think about that next time you find yourself pretending I'm okay. What are the reasons behind it? What are your reasons behind it, more importantly? And you'll see they're connected to protection, fear that others might see you differently, and so on and so forth. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing it with you, and I'll see you next time. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this and want to learn more about emotions and overcoming problems, consider subscribing. If you relate and want to share or leave a comment, that would be great, and that would reach other people and inspire them. And also, the quickest and easiest way for you to get help is to message me or email me. I look at all of my messages daily, and I'll get back to you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.